On this episode of Dive Charter, we go looking for that most feared creature of the sea, the shark.
It's not unusual for some bull sharks or some reef sharks to come in here and check out the tugs, see what's waiting. So it could be an interesting dive.
And we talked to Nikole of Shark Savers about what the average person knows about sharks.
It's up to us to do our part to make sure that we keep this shark population healthy, because if we don't, then it's going to be a total decline of the oceans.
There has been a lot of media coverage lately about shark attacks. News media outlets love to broadcast these stories, oftentimes depicting sharks as killing machines. Sharks as killers have also been the subject of numerous TV shows and movies, including the one that first introduced us to sharks, Jaws. What is it about sharks that both terrifies and intrigues us at the same time? And how much of what the average person knows about sharks is accurate? Today, Scuba Time 3 is heading out to a dive site specifically to look for sharks. This site, called the Qualman Tugs, is a location known for shark activity, as Captain Bob explains.
Today we're doing Qualman Tugs. It's a series of 5 tugs off of Pompano Beach in about 80 to 85 feet of water. We have them all in a line, and what we're going to do today is we're going to start on one end and put the divers in the water on the drift. And they're going to go through a whole series of 5 wrecks. A lot of life on these wrecks, all kinds of small life and big life. Gags, groupers, black groupers like this wreck. And with his grouper and his little fish, there's bigger fish. May even see a couple sharks on this one. It's not unusual for some bull sharks or some reef sharks to come in here and check out the tugs, see what's waiting. So it could be an interesting dive.
As the divers prepare to get their shark search underway, let's talk to Nikole about sharks.
Every time I dive, I like to see sharks. This is actually one of the #1 things that people want to see when they're diving. My name is Nikole Ordway, and I have been a dive instructor for many years now. But my role is here in South Florida, the Shark Savers volunteer coordinator. And what I do is I like to go around and give people the information and the power to do more for sharks than they ever can before. It's up to us to do our part to make sure that we keep this shark population healthy, because if we don't, then it's going to be a total decline of the oceans. Everything is a balance, and if you take that top predator out of that balance, you're going to find that the corals will die and other animals in the ocean will decline, and we won't have an ocean to go and play and be able to see all these amazing creatures.
Is there really any need to fear sharks while in the water? And what about all the recent attacks that we see on the news?
It's not an attack, it's a shark mistake. They don't know what they're going after, they just see movement. So making sure that you don't look like a fish, and you don't smell like a fish, and you don't act like a fish, you'll probably be quite all right in the water with a shark.
When we return, we continue our discussion of sharks with Nikole, and we check on the progress of our divers' search for sharks on the Qualman Tugs. Our shark divers are still busily looking for any signs of shark activity. It has been quiet so far, but everyone knows that can change. Even though a shark silhouette during a dive seems scary, it doesn't have to be. Here's what Nikole says about diving with sharks.
A lot of people tend to come to me and ask me, Nikole, how do you dive with sharks so that you feel comfortable and that you don't put yourself in danger? And I always tell them, first and foremost, sharks are not dangerous to divers. They actually don't like the sound of the scuba bubbles that you make. So you tend to not see sharks up close unless you look like a fish or smell like a fish. So if you're going out and spearfishing, you might find that sharks are a little bit more attracted to you because you might have the fish smell or you might have the fish attached to you. But the regular diver who doesn't have a fish on them probably won't get approached by a shark. Like I said, they don't like the sound of us. They don't like the way that we thrash around in the water. We don't look like a prey that they would eat. I have actually dove in my lifetime with all species of shark. I've been in the water with small sharks up to 15-foot tiger shark, and I've never ever felt like a shark was ever going to hurt me in any way. And I do know that they have respect for me just as much as I have respect for them when I'm in the water. Shark Savers is a nonprofit organization. It is worldwide, where they go out and they try and reach out to the public on saving sharks. The Sharks Count program is a great way for divers to get involved. A lot of scientists don't get out and survey sharks because they're usually doing things behind a computer. Local divers, we're out diving a lot. The Sharks Count program is a way for you as a diver to help with that, to be able to track the sightings of the sharks that you like to see. We go to dive sites around South Florida and we might see 1 or 2 sharks. Back in the day, they used to see more than that. So it's really good to see that distinctive shift in population change by having divers record their data sightings. Some of the sharks that you might see in South Florida that you should be recording are easy ones like the Caribbean reef shark, bull sharks, hammerhead sharks. We do get sandbar sharks here. We get the tiger shark. We also do get sightings of great white sharks. We had a couple of sightings just this year in Palm Beach, Boynton, and also down in the Florida Keys. We also have had many sightings of whale sharks.
This juvenile whale shark was recently seen off the coast of Fort Lauderdale. To underscore the importance of reporting shark sightings, when the whale shark was reported to Shark Savers using video stills and documentation, it turned out to be a previously uncatalogued whale shark and was added to the database for tracking purposes. Our divers have begun to surface from their shark search. As the dive boat begins to pick them up, let's talk to dive leader Enzo to see how the search went.
Unfortunately, we didn't see any sharks, any kind of sharks, and but this is not a big deal because we know they are there, and it's important that we report also when we don't see them. It's been wonderful diving, blue water, calm on the surface, the sun is out, another beautiful day diving.